I couldn't afford rent anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't know where to turn to or who to turn to or who to ask help from. And
Yeah.
then when I got there to get the eviction letter,
Yes.
they changed the locks
Ooh, you know, with your furniture inside.
with every single thing inside. Emotionally, I was devastated. I thought, like, God, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna open the Red Sea for me
Yeah.
now, and none of that happened.
Before we go to where you are right now, what was the lowest point in your life, and what went through your heart, through your mind, before you came to a point where you said, you know what, I'm gonna lift my head and start working on myself? Where were you? How old were you? What was the lowest moment? I'm just gonna come in, I'm not gonna
Dive
phase.
deep.
Yes. We're launching out. Hallelujah.
I think the lowest point in my life was actually this year, like the beginning of this year,
Okay.
where I lost my apartment.
Sure.
So that was the lowest point in my life, and just for the mere fact that 4 years ago, I got an opportunity to like move out of my mother's house and like move out of the Great of Randfontein. So I got a great opportunity to do that, and through those 3 years, the period of those 3 years, I got also an opportunity to build myself up, get my own apartment, get myself a few things that I like, and get to a point that I actually feel like, no man, this is stability, and this is actually where I see myself. And then, as you know, Corona hit everyone.
Yeah.
And then last year when Corona hit us at work, I was the first that they had to dismiss.
Sure.
Because it was like a thing that they couldn't afford me anymore and stuff like that. So they had to dismiss me. And I was like, no, I'm faithful. I'm serving a living God. I can go through this.
Sure.
That was the first 3 months. And then by the beginning of this year, March, things starting to get a bit hectic.
Sure.
And when I say hectic, I mean the pressure was really high. I'm a guy that if it's necessary, I'll ask help. But I don't normally ask help. I think for myself. I say like, hey man, I can do this. It's manageable.
Okay.
I can go through it.
Okay.
This has happened before. I'm not the first one that's going through this. And then I couldn't afford rent anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't know where to turn to or who to turn to or who to ask help from.
Yeah.
And then it was around about that time where I realized that, Jerome, what now?
Sure.
Because I dread the thought of moving in with my friends or moving back home. I dread the thoughts like, no, God, if this was your plan, if this was your plan to allow me this opportunity, why are you taking it away from me?
Yeah.
This is not you. You were God of restoration. You were God of good things. Why is this happening
Why
to me?
is this happening?
And then I think the second week or the third week in January, at my apartment, I got served with a eviction letter. And then I didn't sleep at home because I lived alone. I didn't sleep at home.
Yeah.
And then when I got there to get the eviction letter,
Yes.
they changed the locks
Ooh, you know, with your furniture inside.
with every single thing inside.
And you photographer, your equipment.
My equipment was
I
in my
knew.
apartment, everything. And the good thing was the one room I converted into a studio, so it was a complete studio with everything in it.
Sure.
And then for me to access the apartment, I had to pay a certain X amount, and it
wasn't available.
and it was a huge sum of amount that I had to pay back. And then the other thing was that it was a string line of people that still owed me money.
Yeah.
Now this was like work that I've done and work that I've collaborated with people with, and then the money that they owed me was like
Yes.
I had a little bit of lenience on them. Like, okay, well, let's go with you, pay me. But I didn't bear in mind, or I didn't had that in the back of my mind. But Jerome, you also have bills. You also have this to do. You also have that to cover.
Yeah.
And then when that hit, when I got to my apartment, I was with Craven that day.
Yeah.
When I got to my apartment, I was stunned. Like the key don't,
Yeah,
the key
yeah.
doesn't fit anymore. The key
Yo.
doesn't turn anymore.
Yeah.
What do I do now? And then it was at that moment that I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, yeah. What I wanna ask you is so you said, you know, you asked God what's happening and what's the way forward. Were you trying to be positive, and were you really positive about the whole thing, or were you at a point where you felt like, I don't believe anymore, and how long did it take you to get over that in that period, whether it was 2 days or 3 weeks, or what happened to you emotionally, and how did you come out of it in that time, even though things were not right yet?
Emotionally, I was devastated.
Yeah.
I was devastated emotionally,
As in questioning God, like
questioning God, because I haven't even told a lot of people. There was only a few people, my immediate friends, not even my mother and father knew that was happening.
Yeah.
So that's how devastated I was, and that's how I trusted God. I was like, God, I know this is something you're gonna help me go through it.
Yeah.
You see, because a lot of times we want God to take us out of the situation. You see, look at Moses with the Israelites when they ran out of Egypt. When they got to the sea, God didn't take them out of the situation. He made a way through. He separated the ways for them to go through the sea.
In other words, it deals with what's in front of you.
Deals with what. So I thought, like, God, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna open the Red Sea for me now, and none of that happened.
Sure.
I was confused, and I was start questioning God. I was start like, am I praying right? Do I do things right? You see, am I a God representative person? Am I being punished? Why is this happening to me? And all those thoughts clouded my mind, because now I don't know what to do. My equipment, my clothes, every single thing that I own is in my apartment. How am I going to get it?
Sure.
Because these people ask a certain amount of money for me to get those things.
And you don't have anybody to help you at that point.
I don't have anybody to help me.
Everybody's going through a pandemic.
Everybody's going through a pandemic. Wow. So now this is my pandemic that I'm facing. And then a miracle happened. Like 3-4 hours, someone actually helped me. I think using my ability to ask God, why is this happening to me? It didn't come from a place of weakness, but it came from a place of confusion. Because I was confused, like, Lord, do you build and break? Because I know you build. There's the only thing that you break away from things that are not yours, or things that are not representing you. That's the only thing. So I was actually judging myself. I was actually how do you say? I was crucifying myself because I thought I was the problem. Hence the reason for this is happening. Because sometimes when we do something, and when we say, I want to move out of a certain area and I want to rebuild or build a new set of life outside of from where I was where I was born, you do it because you want to come back and you want to teach other people, or teach people that looks up to you, or teach youngsters that desire what you're doing in the same manner, and say, okay, well, this is what I'm doing. You can do it in this manner, and you can actually get there much quicker. But that happened to me, so it made me question God. So Lord, what I'm doing, is it not right? What I'm doing, is it not your will? Because now I've lost everything. So where to from here, Lord? How's this restorable? I'm human, and when I'm saying I'm human, I'm judging from a flesh perspective, because this is what I'm seeing, Lord. I don't see results. I'm seeing, like, it's a disaster situation. So where does my help come from?
Sure.
Where does my help come from, Lord?
Mm.
Because this is what I'm going through. It felt like a humiliation.
Yeah.
And I thank the Lord for allowing me to have such great friends in my life.
Yeah.
And then not someone, the caretaker at the complex where I stayed, she actually helped me. She said, okay, Jerome, this is the scenario that's happening. I can help you get your stuff. But after I've helped you get your stuff, you need to sort A, B, and C out by yourself.
Okay.
And then, Mr. B, where do I take all these stuff, even if I'm gonna take it out of the apartment?
Oh.
What am I gonna do with it?
Mm.
Where am I gonna store it? I can't take it home. At home we have a large or huge or big house. So where am I gonna store this stuff? And out of my heart, out of generosity, and I felt like that was God that said to me, give everything away.
Serious?
Give everything away. Me and Graven had not an argument, but
you
Graven gave me his perspective. He was like, Jerome, I understand what you want to do. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
But now you're in need of money. Sell at least a few things so you can have money for yourself and do a few things so that
yes.
the strain that you're feeling now won't be so hard on yourself.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, Graven, I'm just trying to obey something.
Yeah.
And if this means that giving all this away and starting from scratch, I'm gonna do it.
And it's actually good to have friends like that. It's good to have friends like that because it doesn't really talk about how what they really think about a situation. It just tests your generosity. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Are you real with what you want to do? Because if somebody else maybe says that, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, you're right, man, and maybe it wasn't really genuine, or you were like, but the fact that you stood by it and said, no, it's fine, I hear what you're saying, but at the moment where I am right now, I really want to let go of this and it just give somebody, you understand? So I actually like what he did, because we need friends like that. We need people around us that will come with the reality of, look at you, man, look at what's happening to you. I mean, Job's friends we're not bad people.
Yes.
They just came and saw the reality of what's happening, and they had their opinion about it. So it's not like they don't believe in God and what God can do through you and all that. It's just that you have the revelation, they don't have it yet at that moment. And it's actually good that it happened to you, that you continued with it.
Yes.
You went through with the idea.
I went through with the idea, and I explained to them, like,
sure,
this is why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And they could understand. They could understand why I'm doing it, and they supported me by doing all that. And then a couple of months, I'm fast forwarding a couple of months afterwards. A couple of months after that, I started to realize, okay, so actually this is what God is actually want me to understand. And this is actually how God wants to steer me in a direction that He had planned for me.
Yes.
Many other ways of a man's heart.
Yeah.
But it's God's plan that prevail. See, so I had a lot of plans that I wanted to do, but it was God's plan. So His plan was a juxtapose, if I could say that.
Yes.
According to mine, because mine was this way, His was that way. And if He is the true God that He say is, He will make everything clear to me. He's not a God of confusion.
I like what you're saying. He makes things clear.
Yes.
A lot of people expect God to change things outside of you.
Yes.
And say, this is what I'm going through, please send somebody now. But I like what you're saying. You say that God makes things clear.
Yes.
He starts there.
Yes.
Even though outside people will still see you sitting on the street or being put out and all that. But the fact that God makes things clear, I love that. I love how you say it.
Yeah. And I moved eventually. It was in March. But I made it myself, and I made a promise to myself. This is only temporarily.
Okay.
That I had to move back home.
Deadline. I love that. Yes.
that I had to move back home. And a lot of things changed. Not because I wanted it to change, but because I had a renewing of my mind.
Wow.
I saw things differently.
Yeah.
I understood things differently. Because now I understand that if His Spirit and what I'm experiencing is from the flesh, then it means that there's a more bigger power and force that wants me to see what's actually going on. And I just draw more closer to God. And the more I draw closer to God, the more I started to see that at times it's our conditioning of our mind that allow us to stay in certain places.
Yes.
At times is not about what we do, but it's about what we think we are doing will get me somewhere. And when you actually have an experience with God, it's something that can't go away. Because now you are in Him, you are His DNA, you are His representative. Now you understand that God will actually not do this to Himself.
Sure.
So if I'm going through this, somewhere or somehow, I thought about this, that it should happen, or I thought about something that will maybe overpower me, so this would happen. And it did. So it made me went back. So it made me scrutinize. So it made me go back to the drawing board. Like, Jerome, what went wrong?
Wow.
And I started to realize it was my mind, my thinking, my understanding, my perception of how I perceive things. That was wrong. If I pray hard enough, or if I pray with an intellect that God could hear me, then it means that I need to do this. But the thing is, the way you talk to God should be the way you speak to someone that is here. But we speak to God like God is far, like God is in another galaxy, like God is in another dimension. God is here. God says nothing can separate me from you.
Sure.
So if you understand the concept that nothing can separate you from God, your perception in your mind will change of how you communicate and talk with God. So if you talk and you say that, Lord, I'm in a situation, please help me. He will help you if your mind believes that He will. But if your mind still's like, okay, God, please help me in this situation, but you text messaging someone else that owes you money, hey, you need to help me because you need to pay my money because I need to do ABC. Then it means that your mind have never been renewed. You still have that strong conditioning. But once the conditioning is removed, you will realize that I am God. So what I speak, I'm going to speak it into existence. Jesus said, what goes in doesn't defile you, but what comes out. So it means that everything that I say, I speak it into existence. If I speak a curse, if I speak a curse upon someone or upon my child to say that you useless, you what? By the time my child reaches a certain age where I want them to excel, they're gonna be useless. Then I'm walking into the prophecy that God says that if we are His representatives. So if we are God's representatives, we do exactly what He does. We have capabilities, what He have capabilities of. So it means
even Jesus said you're going to do greater things.
Greater things, but the only great thing we saw was Jesus walk on water. So now it allows me to say that our conditioning, our mindset, Mr. B, from where we're sitting now, if I can ask Mr. B, stand up and walk, Mr. B will do it comfortably. But if I ask and say, Mr. B, stand up and fly, Mr. B will say, Jerome, you're out of your mind. So where does that come from? That comes from past experiences. That means your mind is still in the past. Your mind is not on a possibility that I can fly. If I still believe that I can fly, one day I will fly. But because I'm living my experience, I won't fly. I will keep on having the same experience. So the renewing of your mind needs reconstruction, and the only person that can do that is the one that created it.
They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results.